Hey everyone, this is KGY from the Magnetic Games, and in this video we are going to overview the DreamWorks Medieval pack in order to help you and how to get the best from it. If you already purchased the pack, thank you for your support, and I just want to say that it means a lot, so thank you. Fair warning, this is a long video, so make sure you check the description before you start. I took the liberty of putting down the parts of the video in case you might want to just watch a specific part like optimization. Maybe you don't want to go through all those props and materials with me for 5-10 minutes, maybe 15. Maybe you just want to watch your optimization and just leave. Yeah. And it's okay. So, first of all, we will be talking about what's in the pack. What should we expect from it? And of course, along the way, I will show you a few things about the file structure and how to easily find your way and use everything instantly, such as naming conventions and etc. Right after that, we will be talking about decals and materials. Then I will show you the prefabs, how to adjust prefabs, also demonstrate how to build something piece by piece along with some hot tips. Another very important one, the optimization, how to get the best performance and how to and what to adjust easily for your needs. So let's start. First thing you're gonna see will be these main folders, so let's take a look at each of them, starting with the architecture. Let me just quickly scale the thumbnails so you will have a better look. We have two types of doors, different variations. Some pieces like wood panel and woods are generally used in the modular architecture. You will have a better understanding when I show you the prefab section. We have different types of ground, different types of variations. One is a little bit more ruined. The last one is more old and broken.
Mhm.
In the decal and the ground folder, we have different types of decal meshes. We have 4 meter, 6 meter, and really high poly mesh, which is specifically used in the big scenes. These are generally used in when you try to do a small like decal, just like you can see in here. When you want to add something like this to your scene or something similar, it can be like a cobblestone also, or anything you want, leaves or hay like this. But let's say you want to do your entire ground using these methods, these materials, and you want to use the tessellation. So you can't use something as simple like this. You're not gonna get much from the tessellation, and your ground is gonna look really not proper. Is the kind word for it. But if you use something like this, something really high poly, it looks really weird right now because it's not scaled. But when you throw it to your scene, and when you just scale it, it's gonna look a lot better. It's gonna look how it's supposed to look. You can't get the same result with a low poly. We also have two types of water planes. One is, like, as you can see, circular, one is square shaped. Uh, I specifically put two types of different ones. You're gonna see the reason why once I open the props, because of the true. Let's take a look at the materials folder. We have three subfolders here. Let's start with the master material. In here we have parents of our instances. Master material classic is the most commonly used one by types of meshes like chair, wall, or chest. They all have one parent material, so when you want to adjust something, you can do it instantly. Don't have to wrestle with hundreds of materials for each object. So let's examine each master material with an instance of their own and see what features they have. Classic, you can simply add a node and change the color of the wall or any given object instantly. You can grab the node from other master materials just as easily. The cloth material allows you to change color of your instance. Again, these nodes you can just copy and paste among them. For example, if you want to have the ability to change the color in the classic material, you can just grab it from the cloth material just as easily. Another thing cloth has, you can adjust the speed of the wind along with other things. The liquido is the material for getting a quick result when you need obviously something liquid, stuff like some water in the true, a small lake, maybe a glass of water or a soup, because you can also change the color along with the ripple intensity. Then you can just add a smoke effect, there you have a soup. Also things like water in the well. This is another instance I made for the liquido. This is for frozen water. Mask material is for things like ash, dirt. Again, you can add the nodes you have from the other master materials to the one you want and adjust the material for your custom needs. Vertex simple is stuff like hay or paddle paint. Mask two-sided is for things like thatch. Master material vegetation is the main parent for any vegetation in the content. You can adjust the wind however you like. Also, if you want some color variation among your vegetation, you can easily change the parent from vegetation to vegetation variation. This will give you slight color differences for each variable. But again, you can also add the node and adjust the color however you like. The last one I want to mention is the vertex puddle. You can see that we have a lot of parameters, which you can customize and adjust things like height intensity. Also, you can change your puddle color. We have things like snow removal, which allows you to remove the snow or add the snow to a specific spot you paint. And also height fix, which works in the same logic as the snow remover. It just kind of disables the parallax or tessellation effect slightly or completely, however you like. And of course, we have many other parameters such as tessellation related stuff, and things like opacity painting, and many more. Before we finish this folder, I just want to mention something about the textures. Every subfolder is structured just like the main folder, as you can see, so you can find any one that matches texture easily. We will talk about the merge folder when we finish with the rest, because it's more about optimization. Let's have a look at the natures folder. Let me quickly scale the thumbnails so you can have a better look. Logs and stump. Again, if you want to check them more detailedly, you can visit my ArtStation. Rocks have 4 different variations for seasonal adjustment. Classic, mostly used in summer, autumn moss, spring moss, and winter. If you want to change their material, you can easily do it. Thanks to the naming convention, it just takes a few seconds. just like that. And we have tree branches and sticks, many different types of them. And in the vegetation folder, we have plants, 3 types of main plant. In fern, we have claret, yellow, and the traditional green one. We also have a lot of flowers, as you can see. We have 2 types of main grass, but grasses have a lot of different types of materials, so make sure you don't miss any of them. And last but not the least are trees. We have 3 types of main trees, but thanks to modularity and different materials, you can get 13 different types of trees just as easily, including the seasonal ones like autumn and winter. And in this folder we have our maps and preview scenery, which I used to take the photos you saw in the marketplace. Let's take a look at our props. As you can see, we have many of them. So I will just quickly show you the thumbnails. Then we will get to the prefabs, merge folder, and a quick demonstration to how to build piece by piece, along with the optimization, of course. Make sure you check out the ArtStation for a closer and more detailed look to each object. Some of the objects have a low poly version. Most of them don't need one because each of them have LODs. But again, I just wanted to make sure that I didn't overkill. These prefabs are things you can also create yourself from modular pieces. I made the prefabs to show you how extensive the modularity and give you a quick start. I will just quickly show you what we have in each folder. Let me just scale the thumbnails again. Each object mesh the prefab has winter version appropriately, as you can see. By the way, it looks like this because the thumbnails generates properly when you open them. also made the prefabs for the trees because originally they're separated from their leaves. And for some simple objects like chests. Let's have a closer look to some prefabs. So this is a bridge I made from, let me show you quickly what it is from. Door, which you can also see in the houses. This door. We have two different kind of doors. This is one of them. And as you can see, I used it with just some ropes thanks to the modularity of the pack, with just some ropes and supporter wood A, which is in this folder, features woods, and we just made ourselves a bridge. In here we have a dock. I used the supporter wood A again, along with our ropes and the platforms which we can also use around the houses to elevate the house or the alley. In here we have a tent counter which we can use in the market scenes, in bazaars, stuff like that. This is made from panel woods, which you can see in the features in the architecture folder. Again, don't hesitate to scale the objects slightly in order to build something you want. Just your imagination. You can just build anything. Considering I just made a bridge from a door and just from a supporter wood, you can pretty much do anything. Well, maybe not anything, but yeah, a lot of many different things. And this is our house 4. Let me just quickly close the... Oh, it's already closed. Oh, it looks when I open. Yeah, it was showing, yeah, off. Now it's off, okay. So when you're dealing with the prefab buildings, or anything with the prefab, you can also delete easily stuff, just pressing the delete. If you just want to delete this door, you can just delete it and just add another door, or you can just change the door. Let's just change this door. Everything is, the pivots are adjusted appropriately, so you can easily find your way around them. Let's just change this door from A to B, and we have a different door now. Let's see it from the inside. You don't have enough light, but yeah, okay. Let's take a look from another house. I made 4 different types of houses from the modular pieces. You can easily create more variations however you want or like. And this is snowy version. I try to make the snows as realistic as possible. No snow in sight. Yeah. And we have our toilet cabin. Yeah, in the medieval times, they also need a toilet. I noticed the marketplace didn't have anything like this. So this pack is gonna be a huge uh, help and something new to the marketplace. As you can see, it also has a winter version. And again, from the leather we have in the probes and the panel woods and 3 meter long wood from the modular woods, which you can find right here, and scaling a little the cloth cover large, we just made a tower. And this is another tower. So the modularity in this pack is really extensive, as you can see. Just from a door or just from a wood or platform, we just saw that I was able to make towers, bridges, pretty much anything. Let me show you another thing. So this is also our well, and from some modular woods and some thatch, because our thatches are really modular, just adjusting them, and we have a proper well now. We also have a winter version. In this part, we will have a demonstration and build a house. So let's get to it. The last thing we're going to talk about is optimization. First, and one of the most important thing you need to know about optimization, and a really quick clarification, this is not just for this content, it's just how the engine works, and you're going to need this in every situation. So at the moment, we have a really dense grass in the scene, and I already turned on my FPS for better understanding. Right now, we are getting around 110 FPS. Let's just throw a house and see what happens. So our FPS just dramatically dropped from one house, and you can imagine what will happen if we throw 4 or 5 houses more. And the reason why is not because houses are poorly optimized or anything like that. Actually, they're optimized really good. We can explain this with a simple example. Right now, we have hundred thousands of grass in the scene, not mentioning a couple of thousand fern and flowers. And just in our field of view, we are seeing more than a few thousand grass and all the vegetation instances. Imagine the engine like a really detailistic storyteller, and how long it will take him to describe what he is seeing, more accurately, what we are making him to see. That sounded cruel, but okay. Anyway, when he's describing, he doesn't goes like, oh, grass right there, oh, another one right there, and another one, and goes on like that. No, just says it's grass, just the foliage, one instance. Because of that, lightning doesn't treat each grass mesh one by one. It just handles the foliage instance and done. Doesn't says, alright, I need to handle couple of 100,000 grass and flowers. Long story short, a bit too late for that, I know. The issue we have right now is gonna be solved with the same logic, because the houses we have are really extensively modular, which is something great. But yeah, we need to do this. Not like just these houses are not like just throw a roof and a plain wall and then it's done. Modular. It's not like that. It is very detailed and customizable. As a result, we have a lot of instances getting handled separately by the engine. Engine even treats the little inside touch separately, but we want the storyteller to say it's just a house. This have a really easy solution, and it's called merge tool. It only takes a few clicks to get the job done. In order to activate your merge tool, open your editor preferences and just assign it. I already assigned mine to Q. So I just click on the prefab. If it's not a prefab, you just have to select one by one, but this is already a prefab. So you just have to press the button, and it asks which ones you want to include. You can exclude any one of them you want. You just don't change anything, just press merge actors, and let's just put in our merge folder, which is already created. You can just give a name, house 1 classic winter, classic, not winter, classic merged. So it just takes a few seconds to do that, and we have right now we have around like 90 FPS. The changes on the FPS, it's just like when you open a lot of tabs and click a bunch of objects and use other stuff, it also gets affected by that, of course. But right now we have around 90, 85, 90. So I'm just gonna delete the one we have. Let me just get the current location. Now I'm gonna delete the one we have, and let's see how much it's gonna affect everything. So as you can see, the pivot point changed, but let's place it the same place. So as you can see, it almost didn't affect the FPS at all. Huge difference. You can just use the building like this, and even 20 of them maybe, like it's not gonna take as much as performance just it was taking before. So, don't forget to, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that text. It just cringes me a lot. Okay. As you can see, our FPS just raised up spectacularly, and total cost of this house is nothing compared to the other one. So I highly recommend you to use the merge tool. It's a great tool. Just takes a few clicks to get the job done. It's really fast, really effective. Another thing I want to mention about optimization is LODs. I made LODs for almost for any mesh in the pack, and they all have a smooth LOD transition. So it is even impossible to detect them during the gameplay if they're changing from the LOD 1 to from 2, for example. Let me show you a few. So generally our meshes have around 4 LODs or more. This one has 3 different states, as you can see, and I set them up the screen sizes one by one precisely for each mesh you're gonna have in the pack. So let's just give a try, and it just changed in the first LOD, and in the second one it's not noticeable at all. And this is my initial setup, so if you want to optimize further you can just play around with the reduction settings, the percentage, or with the screen size. It goes the same for an object if you find it high poly for your needs, because each project have their different custom needs. One might need a jump over the rock, the other might just need them in the way over the distance from the camera, so you can just reduce the triangles even further from the reduction settings. Let's have a quick look at the LOD transitions even further. So this setup just makes LOD transitions unnoticeable. So thank you for watching, and you can leave a comment or send an email to support if you need any help or any questions. Cheers!